Happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday, which means it could only mean one thing. Time for a new limited time series, right? It's been kind of a trend. And for this week, we've got an oldie, a Lamborghini Huracán Performante, arguably one of the best Lambos in the entirety of the game. Um, if not across the board, not just Lambos. It is a very well balanced car. Um, and well, here's your opportunity to see if you can afford one. I'm not even going to bother saying win the car since, I mean, these limited time series we all know are grinders. They're not necessarily difficult. It's the most difficult part about these events is if you can afford it. So it's more of an affordability issue, right? Not so much whether you have the skill to win it. That would be more like special event. Speaking of, this car was featured originally in a special event. I want to say earlier last year, called Perfect Storm. If I remember correctly, that's when we got the Red Bull Ring as a new track. I think it was released with the same update. We got this car, and I'll put the link to my playthrough videos, the playlist for that special event, where I was able to complete and win this car with a net gain of gold. Yes, the the special event I think rewarded the car plus 70 gold for completing, and basically I didn't have to spend um 70 gold to complete and win the car through that special event. So um obviously some of the events did get a little tricky, um but at the end of the day I was able to get through with just one gold upgrade on the car, which costed me, if I remember, 30 gold. um so I netted 40 gold by going through the special event and with a excellent car on top of that. So that is an option, because most likely that event will show up in the game as a flashback event at some point, since just about every other special event now has shown up. Now, some of them have shown up multiple um, occasions, multiple flashback uh, iterations, and each reiteration, I feel like, for people that already have gone through, the repeat reward is getting like smaller. um, I suppose we can kind of, understand maybe why they do that. I'm not quite convinced. I think they should reward the same gold for a repeat uh, accomplishing or repeat run through as well. But that's how the flashback used to be at the beginning. It was really nice, and maybe that's the problem. It was too nice for the players and not nice enough for the developers. You know, so now they have kind of skewed the balance more on their side of the equation in terms of cost. So it is what it is. What can you do, right? Anyway, enough of my yapping about the car and the actual, not this particular limited time series. So let's talk about this one. Of course, if you don't own this car, by completing this event, you will win the car plus 100 gold and 100,000 racing dollars. So aside from getting the car, the reward's the same. And let's see, you got 7 days to complete it, so you get a week. And we have one more limited time series in the current version 7.3, and that final one will start in a couple of days. I want to say it's gonna start on Sunday for me, Sunday evening time, and that is of course for the last Bugatti, the EB110 Super Sport. So that one's going to be a little bit cheaper car, but if you're kind of tight on budget, you might want to consider not necessarily to promote my own videos, but if you don't own this car, and if you're tight on budget, I would recommend checking out my playthrough video and possibly waiting, passing on this limited time series for the Lamborghini Huracán Performante, because limited time series is always more expensive way to get a car. I mean, it's cheaper than buying it outright, don't get me wrong. But as I was saying about the special event, when you if you can pull it off, I'm sure you can too. If I can do it, you can do it. Just take some practice, right? But what I was gonna say is, if you don't necessarily go for this limited time series, but wait out for the flashback return of that event, the Perfect Storm, and if you can win the car through that event, you're potentially you're gonna win some gold by going through that event and win the car. So that's number one. And then you don't have to spend gold to well, I mean, let's just talk about it in terms of pure economics. It is the cheapest way to win the car, the special event, that is. So as I was saying, going back to the point, not necessarily just to promote my own videos, but do go check out, I'll put the link to the playthrough of the special event in the description box below. So do check that out. See if you can kind of assess your skill level to figure out, like, you can watch my videos and you'll notice, like, there are certain videos that have higher views than others. Obviously, the ones with the higher views are the ones that are more difficult, because more people had to essentially look up how somebody else has done it. Maybe there's some trickery involved. I don't remember with this one. I don't think there was any silly, weird shortcuts or anything like that. But so you can kind of skip ahead to just browse through the playlist and just jump around to see if you can find any particular video, or you can check out all of them and see anyone might pose difficulty for you, right? So that's that. Let's just I'll just leave that at that. So you can make your own decision now. I made my recommendation in terms of what I think is going to be more economical way of playing this game. But obviously, it's a beautiful car, and if you're just itching to get your hands on this car and drive around, and then of course this is the best, the other best way to win this car. Now, if you're already, like, if you win the car through this limited time series and the flashback of the Perfect Storm happens, when you run through the Perfect Storm, then I believe you're essentially only gonna get the repeat bonus reward. I think. I don't know how they work it out, because it's not like you're repeating the event. That's actually a good question. How does that work? If you win a car through a limited time series and then you decide to run through a flashback, I feel like the game is going to still consider that run as a repeat and not gonna give you as much gold reward. Or maybe they do still give you the gold reward, and just obviously you already have the car, so you just don't get the you don't get another car. That is a good question. I might have to look into that, which is gonna be a bit of a tricky proposition to figure out because you know, multiple things would have to line up. I would first of all have to, well, they would have to have a championship event for a car that I don't own, that I somehow missed in special event, which I don't think there are any. Huh. So that's gonna be a little bit trickier to figure out. So maybe somebody else knows about this, who's done this, where you missed out on a car from a special event, but then you won a car through limited time series, and when the flashback came back, when the same event came back as a flashback, how was the reward structure? Was it same as somebody who's already won the car, or was it different? I don't know. If any of you guys know, feel free to write down in the comments section below. All right. So anyway, that's enough of the, I don't know, strategy for obtaining this car. But let's jump into actual event, shall we? And that purple finish, I think, is one of the more beautiful finish for any car in the game. That's one of the stock finish on the car, so that's pretty neat. Earn a 2018 Lamborghini Huracán Performante by 100% completing this special limited time series. The first class Huracán takes the concept of performance to a whole other level, and they're not kidding on that one. Yes, we have quite a few Hurricanes in the game, right? It's like Lamborghini's version of 911. And out of all of them, I think this one comes on top. So that's how good this car is. And yeah. Oh, don't I feel lucky? Exclusive offer. Look at that. Ooh, offers are rolling in. Look at that. But anyway, here's the breakdown of 100 gold total in 25% completion increment. As always, it goes 10 gold, 20 gold, 30 gold, 40 gold, and of course, if you don't own the car, at the end you get the car. But for now, I am going to use the gold to complete the series right away, so we can confirm the usual information that we cover in these videos, right? These intro videos for the limited time series. Boy, offers are rolling in. So, all right, seen that already. Let's go to the final tier, tier 15. The last race is going to be at the Catalunya Grand Prix, 3-lapper, and my PR is 69.9. That with a 9 upgrades. But obviously, if you don't own this car, your PR would be you'll be starting at stock, which is 64.3. And when you max it out, it does go all the way up to 82.1, just so you know. But anyway, 79 PR 79 is what's required, which is what's on their website. So it is, we can confirm it is accurate. And now, to get this car's PR up to 79, we need to get 3 upgrades across the board. And this car kind of has the usual, more contemporary upgrade tree. So first tier upgrades are all racing dollars, 8-hour R&D time, and then second tier is entirely gold, and that unlocks the third tier, which is entirely racing dollars. And some categories only have 3 upgrades, like suspension and exhaust. So those you'll have to max out, because you need to get 3 upgrades across the board. And then the ones with the 4 upgrades, obviously that last 4th tier upgrade, they're gold. We don't need to get those on the ones with 4 upgrades. So that includes drivetrain, brakes, and tires and wheels. So we're okay with 3 upgrades on those categories. And then the reason why that's important is because we need to get a 4th tier gold upgrade to unlock the 5th tier racing dollar upgrade to bring our PR up to 79 without spending more gold than necessary, right? And so we got 2 categories, engine and body, that have 5 tiers of upgrades. And as always, body is cheaper way to go than engine. Engine is always the most expensive upgrades. So you basically max out body. So 3 upgrades across the board, except body, where you have to get 5 upgrades. And that should bring your PR exactly up to 79. And the total cost of that is going to be 309 gold. Now, I already got the 2nd tier gold upgrade on the body. That's what I had to do to win this car, which costed me 30 gold. So I've already spent 30 gold on this car, and then I'm gonna have to spend another 279 to get 100 of it back. So 100 back for 279 is actually a pretty decent discount rate. I think that's a pretty good discount. So I am most likely going to go for this series and go for that 100 extra gold and get the car's PR up to 79. This car is here, so we'll get the upgrades here. So as you can see, 18 hours for the 3rd tier cash upgrade, by the way. So I'll just go ahead and use gold to get that done right away. For engines, same applies for drivetrain, so that's another 38 gold there. And then, as I said, it unlocks that racing dollar upgrade. And then body, we'll skip that for now, since I already have the 3 upgrades on that. And suspension, we'll bring it up to 3rd tier, maxing out basically. Same for exhaust, another 35 gold. And the racing dollar upgrades that we'll get and take care of them with the gold right away for the time being. So upgrade cost, as you can see, isn't terribly high for a car this good. So that's a good news, right? So anyway, so with 21 upgrades, right? 3 upgrades across the board brings your PR up to 78. So we are 1 shy, of course, from the target of 79. And the problem with all these remaining upgrades is that let's take a look at the cheaper one, like the brakes, right? It's only 60 gold, but it doesn't quite get us to where we need 79, right? So, and it's a dead end, there's no more upgrades. So that doesn't work. Same applies for tires and wheels. We get slightly more boost, like 0.1 for a little slightly more gold, but once again, it's a dead end. Same applies for drivetrain, even higher PR boost, but still not enough. So we need 2 more upgrades, basically, is where that story goes, right? So we got engine and body, and of course engine is more expensive, 95 gold, than the body, which is 70. And yes, engine does have a higher PR boost, but we don't really need that much. So if you go with the body, as you can see, by getting that gold upgrade, it unlocks that last tier racing dollar upgrade, which does take a day and 12 hours, right? 1 day and a half. So that's a bit of a wait. But that will get our PR exactly up to where we need it to be, which is 79. So that is a total cost of 309 gold if you're starting from scratch. And some, like, I think it's slightly south of 2 million racing dollars. So if you're short on racing dollars, yeah, it's gonna cost a bit of that too. So keep that in mind. All right, now, well, let's just run through the series real quick here. Tier 1, of course, there's no PR requirement, so elimination, endurance, and cup at Suzuka West, just a single lapper, so that's a quick one. And Tier 2, you know what? I don't know how useful this each running through each tier is gonna be. So let me change things up a little bit and let me talk about the series that this car is featured in. So this car has two series. One is in your career under elite section called Supercar Clash, and this car is gonna have the highest PR, I think. I don't know. It's that series features the 918 Spider concept, the Porsche. Of course, that's the convertible one. And then it's another car in that series is McLaren 720S Coupe, which is another excellent car. And then the Lamborghini, this guy, Huracán Performante. Out of those three, it's difficult for me to choose the favorite because all three of those cars are incredibly well balanced. 918 Spider concept in that group is a bit of an underdog. It's not quite as good as the other two, but you know, it is a solid car. It's 918, right? So it's got that pedigree, you know. Anyway, so that series, for 100% completing, you get 71 gold. And in order to access that series, that bonus series, you're gonna, unless you own one of these cars, you're gonna have to unlock it by winning 12 trophies in Ferrari Face Off series, which is one of the main career series in elite section. And to 100% complete that series, you need the PR of 82. And then if you max out the PR, the upgrades on this Huracán Performante, you of course can access the exclusive series, which has 80 gold reward. And you know, exclusive series are fun. You know, there are no other cars featured other than this one, but it's exclusive, right? So so there's some opportunities to get some gold back, right? So that is something to keep in mind. But for this one, I'm just gonna jump through the important tiers. So tier 4, we got Daytona, right? Or yeah, so this one is gonna have a PR 68.7, which is slight, actually. So you can reach that with the first round of cash upgrades only, because the 7 upgrades gets you up to 68.9. So this event, actually, even if you don't go for winning the car, you can get claimed at 10 gold by getting the first round of racing dollar upgrades and running through the first 25%. But why stop there, right? When you can get up to tier 8 with the PR of, what do you need, 71.5. Okay, of course, then you do need some gold there. So anything past 25% completion, you're gonna start spending more gold than what you're gonna get back. So and I went to tier 7 because you only need 2 gold trophies in tier 8 to claim that 50% completion reward. And similarly, for 75% completion, you need to get through tier 11, which has the PR requirement of 75.2. And then, of course, you only need one gold trophy in tier 12 to claim that 75% gold, the 75% completion reward, which is 30 gold, right? So, there you go. Let's see, just quickly, do I see any Bugatti circuit? We haven't had any of these. We haven't had that show up in these limited time series with terribly difficult challenges yet. So I'm just running through the series to see if I notice any particular event that might cause, involve servicing the car. And so far, aside from drag race, I'm not seeing any that's gonna pose any serious trouble. So looks pretty straightforward. So there you go. This video, I had a bit of a long drawn out explanation of the strategy for winning the car. So hope you guys found that information useful. So if you liked it, give the thumb up, click on that thumb up button. If not, then I guess thumbs down, I don't know. So good luck, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, take care, guys.